Good morning to everyone. I am Dr. K. Vijay Kumar, Associate Professor, Public Administration, Government City College, Hyderabad. Today we are discussing the topic that is New Public Administration, NPA, New Public Administration. In this topic, these are the subtopics that are objectives, introduction, Minnobrook Conference 1, then themes and values in new public administration, effects of the new public administration, Dwight Waldo's views on new public administration, then second Minnobrook Conference, then third Minnobrook Conference, then lastly conclusion. Then objectives of the new public administration. Understand the NPA movement. Understand the NPA, New Public Administration movement. What is the New Public Administration? What is its movement? First of all, understand the New Public Administration movement. It is one of the objectives. Then outline the significance of each conference. Outline the significance of each conference. Then identity the effects of NPA. Identity the effects of new public administration. Then introduction. The public administration as an alternative perspective was in a long tradition of public administration theory and thought. In 1960s, the government and its administrative theory came under heavy pressure from social and political forces for a range of issues like civil rights, higher education, social welfare, law and order, urban infrastructure, and conditions. These are the situation in the 1960s. The government and its administration theory arms came under the heavy pressure from the social and political forces. The heavy pressure in the administration, as well as in government. Heavy pressure of social and political. Then range of issues. That issues are civil rights, protection of civil rights. Then higher education, provide the higher education. Then social welfare, maintain the social welfare schemes, different implementing the different social welfare schemes in the administration, and maintenance the law and order. It is the most important one, that is how to maintain the law and order. It is also pressure in those days on administration as well as in government also. Then urban infrastructure and conditions. In those days there are poor urban infrastructure and their conditions in urbans also. That's why these are the issues. These are the issues came under every pressure from the social and political forces. Then the problems are questioned. The problems are questioned particularly by young university based members of public administration community. In those days, these problems are questioned particularly by young university scholars or university based members of the public administration community. Then to the academic inadvocacy of public responses to problem of poverty in USA and analysis morality of system analysis based on war in Vietnam reflected the inadvocacy of the current public administration thoughts. That's why they are thinking about the new public administration. The emergence of the new public administration, NPA, as an alternative perspective, was in a long tradition of public administration theory and thought. During the decade of 1960s, the government and its administration arm came under heavy pressure from the social and political forces for a range of issues. Civil rights, higher education, social welfare, and law and order, and urban infrastructure and conditions. Responses and the capacity of government to respond those problems were questioned particularly by younger university based members of the public administration community in those days. To the academic inadvocacy of public responses to problems of poverty in the United States and to morality of the system analysis based on war in Vietnam reflected the inadvocacy of the current public administration thoughts. Then the Minnowbrook Conference. The Minnowbrook Conference. A conference at Minnowbrook. Minnowbrook is a place, that is Syracuse University, New York, USA. A conference at Minnowbrook, Syracuse University, New York. It is a place name, that is Minnowbrook. Syracuse University, New York, was organized in 1968, which led to the formulation of the new public administration. Some scholars concerned with the theoretical foundation, research, and methodological sophistication of public administration as an academic field. Those who were more action directed, more concerned, all came together at Minnowbrook, led by Dwight Waldo. He says that it was a part of the rebellion of youth and the counter culture of the non-Marxian left. A conference at Minnowbrook, means Syracuse University, New York, was organized in 1968, which led to the formulation of the new public administration. Scholars concerned with the theoretical foundations, research, and methodological sophistication of public administration as an academic field. and those who were more action directed, more concerned with the impact and failure of public policies, all came together at Minnobrook, referring to the new public administration movement as a new romanticism. Dwight Waldo says that it was a part of the rebellion of youth and the counterculture of the non-Marxian left. But the seeds had been sown much earlier, and the following may be considered the landmarks in the growth of emergency of new public administration. The ANI report on higher education for public service 1967, the Conference on Theory and Practice of Public Administration 1967, the Minnobrook Conference 1968, publication of Towards a New Public Administration, the Minnobrook Perspective, edited by Frank Marini 1971, publication of Public Administration in a Time of Turbulence, edited by Dwight Waldo 1971. The above reports or publications did reflect pessimism about the state of public administration and its organizing values, conceptual frameworks. The definition of good practice inherited from the 1940s and 1950s. The inherited field adhered to a positive approach to phenomena and a limited view of rationality, emphasized efficiency and economy to the exclusion of the values, and promoted centralized and hierarchical forms of organization. The old public administration was unable, according to its critics, to deal with rapidly changing social, economic, and political orders. The new public administration criticized the old public administration for its lack of an explicitly ideological, philosophical framework and supported an activist role of the administrator in the pursuit of social equity. There is a growing evidence that the institution of public administration have failed to finish what they set out to do, and worse, are now suspected of aggravating of intensifying the very problem they were designed to solve. It was left that a generated public administration could become relevant to an agitated society and serve as the instrument for guiding social change. Public administration was to be less insular and more consideration would have to be given to the external relationship of public organization and to the effects of their actions. The reflect pessimism about the state of public administration and its organizing values, concept framework, definition of good practice inherited from 1940s and as well as 1950s. The old public administration was unable, according to its critics, to deal with rapidly changing social, economic and political orders. The NPA criticized the OPA, means old public administration. NPA means new public administration. OPA means old public administration for its lack on explicitly ideological, philosophical framework. Public administration was to be less insular and more consideration would have to be given to the external relationships of public organization and to the effects their actions. Then themes and values of NPA, themes and values of new public administration. The philosophy and values of the NPA, new public administration, were best articulated in Marini, Frank Marini's Towards a New Public Administration, which was published in 1971. And another one is Waldo's Public Administration in a Time of Turbulence. Also it was published in 1971 also. The literature of the new public administration stressed from the themes relevance, values, equity and change. These thinkers, Frank Marini as well as Dwight Waldo, Waldo's literature of the NPA, New Public Administration, stressed from the themes relevance, values, equity and change. Then Waldo supports the organizational participation. He supports the organizational participation in all activities, organizational participation and decentralization. Decentralization. Administration should be decentralized according to Dwight Waldo, according to NPA, according to his views, his themes, means Dwight Waldo themes. Decentralization should be formulated in the organization as well as in administration also. And representative bureaucracy as a part of the NPA movement. These are the important issues, important elements of the NPA, that is New Public Administration. Waldo supports the organizational participation is one. First number one, organizational participation. Then decentralization. The administration should be decentralized in all level. And representative bureaucracy as a part of the NPA movement according to Dwight Waldo. He supports this type of arguments, this type of movements. Then representative bureaucracy was meant to produce client-centered administration. Representative bureaucracy was meant to produce client-centered administration and representation of clientele interest by administrators. This is representative bureaucracy. It is also supported. Dwight Waldo as well as Frank Marini also supported the representative bureaucracy. The philosophy and values of the new public administration were the best articulated of these thinkers. Marini, Towards a New Public Administration, it was published in 1971, and Dwight Waldo's Public Administration in a Time of Turbulence, it is also published in 1971. The literature of the NPA stressed four themes. That is relevance. That is one theme, relevance. Four themes. The literature of the NPA stressed four themes. That is relevances, values, equity, and change. These four themes. Relevance, it must and should be relevance. It should have values. It should have equity, and automatically there will be in change, some change in the organizational, in government, or whatever it may be. That is the literature of the NPA stressed four themes: relevance, values, equity, and change. The NPA was normative. NPA was normative. New Public Administration was normative, rejecting the fundamental tenets of behaviorism and procedural neutrality of orthodox public administration, and supporting an activist role for the administrators in, in the pursuit of social equity. Waldo supported organizational participation, decentralization, and representative bureaucracy as part of the NPA movement. Organizational participation was to be mean a promoting change and dispersing power within the organization. Dispersing power within the organization. And decentralization, like participation, was intended to disperse power and increase citizen involvement in governmental as well as in organizational process. And another one is representative bureaucracy was meant to produce clientele centered administration and representation of clientele interests by administrators. The proponents of new public administration made much of value emphasis and normative foundations. The orthodox values of the field, that is economy, efficiency, effectiveness, responsiveness to elected officials' responsibility, were not wrong. They were necessary but not sufficient. Other observing values were citizen responsiveness, worker and citizen participation in decision making, the equitable distribution of public services, and provision of range of citizen choices, and administrative responsibility for program effectiveness. These are the themes and values of the NPA, that is New Public Administration. According to the literature of the NPA, and also Frank Marini and Dwight Waldo also supported these type of issues. Then with greater sensitivity to these values, public administration would become truly relevant and satisfy its primary normative premises. The purpose of public organization is the reduction of economic, social, and psychic sufferings, and the enhancement of public opportunities for those inside and outside the organization. It is possible through the NPA. They are thinking just like that. These are the purpose of public organization is the reduction of economic, social, and psychic sufferings, and the enhancement of the life opportunities for those inside and as well as outside the organization. These are the values and themes of the new public administration. Then effects of the new public administration. effects of the new public administration. In the NPA field, a new breed of administrator would not make separation of politics and administration. Generally, traditional public administration, it was a part of public political science. In the NPA field, a new breed of administrator would not make a separation of politics and administration. New breed of administrator would not make a separation of politics and administration. The old administration, the old public administration, the OPA, old public administration, generally it is a part of the political science before 1887. So, the NPA field, a new breed of administrator, would not make separation of politics and administration. The NPA resorted conceptual functionalism among academics of the 1960s and 1970s. The new values, emphasis and liberation from the field of orthodoxies carried costs, especially legitimacy costs. The NPA influences runs like a thread through the fabric of academic public administration as it evolved from the 1970s into 1980s. In the new public administration field, a new breed of administration would not make a separation of the politics and administration, but did not have heightened sensitivity in administrators, continued organizational development, and a desire for change. The new public administration might well foster a political system in which elected officials speak basically for the majority and for the privileged minorities, while courts and administrators are spokesmen for disadvantaged minorities. The new public administration reasserted conceptual fashionalism among academics of 60s and 70s and generated yet another intra-field debate as to the newness, feasibility and purpose of the contemplated change. Some scholars argued that the new paradigms betrayed the public interest by encroaching upon authority of the elected officials. For the professional practitioner, the new value emphasis and liberation from the field's orthodoxies carried cost, especially legitimacy costs. Thus, Rosenblum, an administrative thinker, Rosenblum wrote, Liberation makes it impossible to insist that civil servants are politically neutral in policy sense. They may be blatant and open advocates of policy positions. The new public administration explicitly argued that legitimacy would flow from the advancing social equity. It is difficult to assess the effects of the new public administration. Minnowbrook ideas that inspired young academics in 1968 did not always serve the line administrator and the policy and administrative turbulence of the later 1960s and early 70s. Commenting upon the new public administration movement as a reflection of the conflict of youth versus age, Waldo observes that children's crusades and youth movements have not on the whole written happy, brilliant pages in the history of civilization. Ingraham and Rosenblum felt that the new public administration focused on administrative reform as a means of redistributing political power and political roles. The NPA failed to develop a coherent intellectual framework that could gather widespread support, but the Minnowbrook influences runs like a thread through the fabric of academic public administration as it evolved from the 1970s into 1980s. Rather than adding to layer a strata to those introduced earlier by the political science, policy, or generic approaches, the influence of the new public administration pervades and influences them all. These are the effects of the new public administration. And Dwight Waldo views on new public administration. The basic themes of the new public administration were participation, decentralization, and representative bureaucracy. According to his views, the basic themes of the new public administration. These are the compulsory. According to his views, new public administration was organizational participation, then decentralization and representative bureaucracy. These are the basic themes of NPA of Dwight Waldo views. Waldo ranging from organic communitarianism to moral and political elitism. Waldo points out that a cognate case can also be made for centralization, and neither case is universally right or wrong. He finds some validity in anti-organizational stance of the new NPA. He finds some validity in anti-organizational stance of new public administration. He says that there is no such thing called public philosophy, and that the problem now is to find the boundaries of the public administration. The basic themes of the new public administration were participation, organizational participation as well as citizen participation, and decentralization, power or administration, decentralization, and representative bureaucracy. Participation was supported both as a political process and as an organizational process. Political participation was seen as a means of dispersing power and increasing citizen involvement in government. The movement rejected both simple majoritarianism and pluralism in favor of alternatives described by Waldo as ranging from organic communitarianism to moral and political elitism. Support for organizational participation was a part of what Waldo sees as the movement. Massive, massive hostility to anything perceived as bureaucratic. It was to be a means for promoting change and dispersing power within the organization. Decentralization, like participation, was intended to disperse power and increase citizen involvement in governmental and organizational process. Representative democracy was meant to promote client-centered administration and representation of clientele interests by administrators. Dwight Waldo finds some validity in anti-organizational stance of new public administration, but he considers much of the indictment to be unfair, spurious, and above all unrealistic. He notes that most innovative techniques and technologies have been created in bureaucratic organizations, and that the era of bureaucracy has been era of rapid change. Even if the bureaucracy serves the status quo, the status quo itself is not a monolithic interest, but a diversity of interests, all of which must be served. In addressing the question of efficiency, Waldo charges that the critics attack a narrow conception of the efficiency that had long been discarded. He says that there is no such thing called public philosophy, and that problem now is to find the boundaries of public administration. These are the views of basic views of the new public administration of Dwight Waldo. Dwight Waldo views on the new public administration. Then Second Minnowbrook Conference. Second Minnowbrook Conference. The field has shifted focus in insignificant from the management agencies to policy issues. The Second Minnowbrook Conference, it was held in 1989, same Syracuse University, New York, USA. The Minnowbrook representative argued that as public needs change, government agencies often outlive their purpose. It argues that as public needs change, some change in administration, in law and order, whatever it may be take, public needs change, government agencies often outlive their purpose. Then effective public administration has come to be defined in the context of an active and participative citizenry. Effective public administration has come to be defined in the context of an active and as well as participative citizenry. According to Rosenblum, three developments observing of attention involved. That is, the first one is liberation implies liberation implies. The second one, increased representation, increased representation from social grouping in public workforce. It is nothing but participation, increased representation of social grouping in the public workforce. And third one is greater participation by public employees in administration decisions. These are issues discussed in the Minnowbrook 2. It was held in 1989. And in another also, the ethics and honesty and responsibility in governmental have returned to gain to the lexicon of public administration. Change, not growth, has come to be understood as the more critical theoretical issue. Social equity has been added to efficiency and economy as the rational or justification for policy positions. And the problem of public servants, the problem of public servants, most of their attentions must be given to the practical day-to-day operations of government, but included in their responsibilities should be concerned for enhancing the civic character of all involved. But designing more responsible organization is difficult task in view of the nature of bureaucratic organizations, which are in favor of efficiency rather than responsible action. Although social equity and women development concerns are emphasized, yet they did not find much place in Minnowbrook 2. In the second conference, the continued of centrality of public management as a determinant of effective institutional performance was considered. Also considered as the possibility of structuring public administration as a design science, as suggested earlier in the first conference. Same according to Rosenblum, he developed three developments deserving attentions involved in that is also same among the factors. If some of the ideals of Minnowbrook 1 had been carried into practice, there continued to be constraint on public sector professionalism. In one study conducted by the National Research Council's Office at Scientific and Engineering Personnel in 1990s, among the factors identified in the report were inadequately paid, delays in job offers, paperwork, and ceiling on opportunities. The National Commission on Public Service, yes, in its report 1989 reached a pessimistic conclusion applicable to all the levels of the government. If these trends continue, America will soon be left with the government of the mediocre, lacked into careers of last resort, or waiting for the chance to move on to the jobs. Then third Minnowbrook conference, which was held in Syracuse University in New York, USA. In this conference, the identity crisis was no longer a central focus. The discipline has its own journals and trained new scholars, especially in public administration. The conference, third conference, identifies these are the issues. The identity crisis was no longer. The identity crisis was no longer. That is clear cut. A central focus. The discipline has its own journals, public administration own journals, and trained new scholars, especially in public administration. In Minnowbrook 3 took place with 56 new scholars over 2 days with a professional facilitators, which was held in Syracuse University, New York. Each scholar wrote 3 to 5 page critique of the field, that is administration. The important point here is that the number of public administration scholars has grown, not just in the USA, but all over the world, Asia, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and China, etc. This is the main important point. That is, before this conference, maximum scholars, maximum thinkers are only USA. But after, at the time of this third conference, the number of public administration scholars has grown, not just in the USA, but all over the world, just like Asia, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and China, etc. nations. This is the Minnowbrook third issues. The crisis was no longer central focus. The discipline has its own journals and trained university scholars, especially in public administration. In that conference, 56 new scholars, they conducted conference for 2 days with a professional facilitator. Each new scholar wrote 3 to 5 5-page critique of the field. These are the main issues on the third conference of Minnowbrook. Then conclusion. According to Dwight Waldo, new public administration is a major development in contemporary public administration. According to Dwight Waldo, new public administration is a major development in the contemporary public administration. Its emergence was seen as an alternative perspective in a long tradition of public administration theory and thought. However, it contributed disjointedly to the dialectic among competing state visions and to the availability of many paradigms in the discipline. As a body of thought, it affected the reflections of and professionals in the public administration community. Waldo finds some validity in the anti-organizational stance of new public administration, but he considers much of the indictment to be unfair, spurious, and above all unrealistic. Negro also clearly advocates of new public administration have stimulated constructive debate, and their emphasis upon the positive moral goals of administration should have lasting impacts. Since the new public administration emerged, questions of values and ethics have remained major items in public administration. Thank you.